Well, hello guys, welcome back. We're going to keep this super short. We keep trying to do it for you, and it keeps like going off the rails because I get angry about what this one woman said about our gods and Halloween and so when. And I get really, really angry about what some woman said about King Payman, but I'm going to try to control my rage. And the demons are beckoning. They really never left, and this whole time nobody lifted a finger to harm me. No one even got angry. They were more concerned. They were like, that is really buried tremendously deep, and that is called trauma, and you have a lot of stuff to get out of you. But as many times as it takes, we're gonna work through it, and they're like, it's okay. You can have a lot of psychological trauma from having been told you were worthless from the time you could understand the concept and that there was this whole army of demons out there waiting to get you. And it's just the playbook that the church used against the old gods. And I work with them as old gods, but if you want to work with them as something else and it's working well for you, we're really on the same side, so I don't want to fight about that. And I was really angry on Payman's behalf because he would never do anything like that. And I've been really mad on Asmodeus's behalf because I've seen him accused of horrible things, and I'm like, he would not do that. I know him. If anyone would ever have any of these horror stories happen to them, it would be me because I'm amazing at pushing people's buttons and not really meaning to, and I'm amazing at saying exactly the wrong thing. They've never been violent towards me, they've never punished me, they've never done anything bad to me, Asmodeus has gotten less friendly in his tone towards me, and that's been about it. I've never been hit, I've never been struck, I've never had a plague of anything in my house. They've never poisoned food or any of those other crazy stories you hear. They've never scratched me. I've scratched myself because look at those claws. And mine are really sharp for some reason. It's probably some kind of deficiency. Mine are super sharp. So I've clawed myself. Yeah, I've clawed myself. And, they have never pushed me down a flight of stairs or any of that other crazy stuff you see people do in those shows. And they're like, it's a demon. No, it's not. They have better things to do than do that. Most of those shows are fake, but I'm sure you guys know that. Um, and they're being very warm and they're being very nurturing. And since people asked, I have worked with Lilith. I love her. She kind of, I think she is the mother goddess that came in. I'm almost sure it's her now because it didn't make any sense that the mother goddess showed up and then left because usually if she wants something, it's going to be a long involved process. And it was like she came and then I didn't get called into the long involved process, but looking back, I think it was pretty sure it was Lilith. And the fact that Asmodeus was with her, they seem to work well for me together. Other people will put different pairs up, but I'm like, they're gods, they're adults, they can choose who they work with me. I never try to pair them on purpose. They're not draft horses. I got laughter cheers. They're not draft horses. I don't have to worry about that. They can pick out their own partner, and they often will. And, sometimes they pop in and it's like they just want to have a good look at the human that doesn't use circles or rings or anything else. And we had this talk. I respect however other people work, but I don't even use seals. I'm like, I don't use any kind of symbolism for Loki or Odin or anyone else. Yeah, I did use it in Voodoo when I worked as a non-initiate, but it didn't feel respectful given the history. And I'm like, I don't use the seals, and there's other stuff that other people do that I respect they do that, but I don't do that. I certainly don't summon them. I don't dismiss them. Loki's little huff today. I needed his advice via pendulum, and Loki's little huff at just being called abruptly, even though he was hanging around all day. That's it. I didn't mean to call him like he was a pet or a servant or something, but I just said, "Hey, buddy, come on, let's go." And I could feel he was affronted that, "Oh, you just think I was hanging around all day just for this, huh?" And he wouldn't answer me. And then he gave me nonsense answers. And then I was like, okay, I am sorry. I shouldn't have just called you like that. You're not my pet. You don't serve me. And he's like, damn right, I don't serve you. I do something in this house. Which lamp do you love the most? You know, and please don't, baby. And then it was like, okay, you're really trying to figure out if you should do this thing, and Asmodeus is trying to coax you into doing it. Yeah, go ahead. And Mammon's back. And Mammon was like, he thought I should get it too. It's something about demons and butterflies. They love them. They just kind of look at them and they, seeing them in your mind's eye, however you see them. I don't know if they're really in the room with me. I don't know if it's something I'm just reading off their energy. Who knows, right? But I get this idea of them looking around like, and Payman was happy because there's this beautiful the United Arab Emirates, so UAE, correct? I don't want to get that wrong. I don't want to be disrespectful. They have these beautiful butterfly gardens, and there was this tour, and this poor guide. There is actually crippling fear of butterflies. Some people were terrified of them. And I'm not going to laugh at them because there are other insects that I would just about curl in a ball and die if you showed them to me. So, we all are afraid of something. So I thought the guy was actually brave, and some were landing on him, and I thought he was awfully brave because they seem to be like cats. If you're terrified of them, they seem to come over and see you because it must be good butterfly etiquette to just be like, oh God, no, please don't touch me. And they're like, oh, a nice human who's not trying to grab us. So, yeah. Um, I love them, and I love them as a totem, and I love the fact that, they're connected to Satan. Did I say this attempt? I don't know, but apparently witches back in the day turned into butterflies, as we do, especially us gay witches. We turn into butterflies, and we go flitting around and gathering pollen, and apparently doing Satan's holy will, which is looking pretty and gathering pollen, apparently. Getting cackles of laughter. And sometimes Satan transforms into butterflies. And the best part of the lore, I read it all, is that we can have butterflies to do our bidding. So we can and I remember reading all these crazy stories about witches, which by the way, if you're practicing, they're not true, that we could craft them and bring them to life, and that we could send butterflies out after people because that's something you do. I'm like, what is it going to be? Psychic damage if they're afraid? Other than that, what are you going to actually do with butterflies? You couldn't hurt people with them. They can't bite. They can't sting. I'm like, why would I pick a butter? You know what? I don't care because this is going somewhere else. Um, it's weird, but butterflies and witches are apparently a thing, and butterflies and Satan are apparently a thing. Satan also gets foxes, and I got a ton of foxes today, but I thought it was Loki. And Loki was kind of like, I'm like, well, Loki, this is you, right? And one fox even was winking one eye or had one eye, and I'm like, oh, man? And I wasn't sure, but that's the problem. They're both, a lot of the lore is continental, so, they're both going to have a lot of overlap. Butterflies, foxes, wolves, bats, spiders, all the good stuff. So anything that they didn't like, they gave to the devil. But then when they decide they like it, they yank it back. And it's, excuse me, we made chicken stew. Apparently demons like chicken stew. If you don't know what else, and it was canned chicken, it was canned carrots, and it was canned potatoes. But they don't mind when I cook out of cans. They love the convenience of modern cooking because there's no waste. And I buy what I pay for is exactly what I get, so there's zero waste. They like this very much, and we put it in a free recipe for you, 250-degree oven after we spice it up and put a little tiny bit more water in. Let it in there for 250-degree oven. Let it in there for 2 hours. Delicious, so good. So yeah, you can please demons with canned foods. They're fine. They're fine. However you want to work with them, they're fine. I've made it clear to them I would never do that. I would never put them in a circle. I would never do anything else. I just don't believe in approaching that. And I believe that you can psych yourself out. And if you start looking for every bad thing in the universe to come a calling on you, that can, attract things to you because you're psyching yourself out and you're kind of opening yourself up. But if you take the mindset of instead of, oh, I can't fall, kept getting that as an example in a video. Take an example of I will stay upright. That's entirely different. Take an attitude of I will succeed with the demons I work with. That's entirely different. We've been having a rough last couple of years, but it looks like we're getting everything, sorted out. And again, they haven't ever attacked me. They haven't ever done anything mean to me. The one that does mean stuff is Loki. The one that is the meanest one in this house, other than Odin, is Loki. The demons are fun. They've never done anything wrong to me. They never would. They're very gentle. They go out of their way to live up to being gentle because, the reputation they have. And there's always someone on YouTube or Reddit or somewhere trying to be some, edgelord and scare people. So they go out of their way to be nice. And it really isn't how you treat them. If you treat them gentle and with respect, and yes, they're still, a god and they're still, someone to be respected, then they treat you the same way. Could they snap me like a twig? Sure. So could Loki. So could any god. Any god could take any human and go, boop. But you know that when you work with them. Paganism is working without the training wheels. It's working without a priest or priestess in between you and whoever you're working with. But it's worth it. To me it's worth it. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.